This is the final part, which really I was very happy to see. Okay, we're talking about mental health, homelessness, and addiction. This is something I railed about previously when we were talking about Rayshard Brooks. There are many people in our society who are hurting, especially right now, especially after coronavirus and everything that's been going on in the world. They're hurting. They're self-medicating through addiction. They've got mental health problems. They're using substances, drugs, and alcohol to help heal something that's going on in their life. They're not necessarily, criminals in that they're out there recklessly trying to cause havoc in the world, but they're broken people. They've got problems that they're trying to work through and deal with. And unfortunately, what we're doing right now is we're dealing with a human type of problem with a military type of response. We're using law enforcement, which thinks that they're in the middle of Fallujah, in the middle of Iraq or Afghanistan. They're dealing with these people who have civilian, human being, empathetic problems. And there's a mismatch there. We don't need tasers, tanks, and guns and SWAT teams to deal with people who are just in pain because of something that's going on in their life. They need help. They need treatment. And to my tremendous surprise, that's included in this executive order. I had no idea it was going to be in there, but he talks about it specifically. As a society, we must take steps to safely, humanely care for those who suffer from mental illness and substance abuse in a manner that addresses needs. And we want to promote, he goes, it is the policy of the United States, this is so big, to promote the use of appropriate social services as the primary response to individuals who suffer from impaired health, mental health, homelessness, and addiction. Recognizing that because law enforcement encounters such individuals on a regular basis, they should be properly trained for such encounters. So that is so big. Read that there one more time. It is the policy of the United States to promote the use of appropriate social services as the primary response to individuals who suffer from impaired mental health, homelessness, and addiction. So think about that. What if Rayshard Brooks, we said, hey, this guy's actually probably an alcoholic, probably got a substance problem. Maybe we send social services out to deal with him. Maybe on the first one, we saw his criminal history, maybe on the first one, rather than locking him up and imposing all of these penalties on somebody, maybe we help him get through whatever he's suffering through, and it doesn't cause the chain reaction. We don't see a snowball of additional criminality that take place, because once we throw somebody in the system, it's very difficult for them to get out of the system. So it is the policy of the United States to use the appropriate social services. And he used the word addiction on there. I have to tell you, we have represented many, 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 many people. Many, many people are suffering from some form of an addiction. It's alcohol, it's sex, it's drugs, it's gambling, it's codependency, it's a number of different things. But they have a human problem that just needs some focus. We just have to help them through it a little bit. The fact that the president of the country, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, they're all saying, we're going to it's the United States policy to use social services where appropriate rather than law enforcement, is a big deal. Very, very big deal. And I think a welcomed update. Now we're going to see where this goes, but is a great first start. The order goes on to say, the Attorney General shall, in consultation with Health and Human Services, they're going to identify opportunities to train law enforcement officers about mental health, homelessness, addiction. They're going to increase the capacity of social workers, and they're going to work on developing co-responder programs so that social workers and other mental health professionals can work alongside law enforcement officers to address the situations together. They are going to do these community support. They're going to survey community support models about these issues, mental health, homelessness, and addiction. They're going to come up with specific recommendations about it. Then they're going to talk about budgeting, implementing community support models, and getting this stuff in place. Then they're going to order that basically there's a new legislation that's going to be coming through over into Congress to enhance some of these tools. They're going to improve law enforcement practices, build community engagement. They're going to do all this stuff, right? They're going to do all this stuff. This all needs to go into the actual legislation that's going to be shot over to Congress. So, use of force policies, training, All of this stuff is going to be in the legislation. Again, use of force, I don't even know what that means. Retain high-performing law enforcement officers. This is something that I have been advocating a lot. Some people will ask, God, you must hate all cops, right? You want to defund all the police, like you hate them all. And the answer is no, I don't hate all police. I don't even think that every single one of them is a bad person. But we do have a lot of bad ones, and the ones who are silent about the bad ones are just as complicit in the problems that we see. They need to start policing themselves. How can we trust them to police us if they don't even police themselves? We can't. It's a total contradiction. If they can police us, meanwhile, they've got all these rampant problems within their own system. They don't even investigate their own people correctly. What the hell are they doing investigating us? They're riddled with problems. So we want more good officers. We want high-performing, high-quality, high-integrity, use of force. We want people to de-escalate. We want those people. We want more high-performing law enforcement officials, not the bad ones. So if we're gonna do that, other things have to change. The culture has to change. The Blue Shield has to change. The police unions have to change. The police unions are the big ones who want to keep the low-performing officers on board. Because if you threaten these performance reviews, if you threaten to bring out or to hold their records accountable, in Arizona we had police officers, their contract that their union negotiated said that their records would be destroyed after 5 years. It was a union deal. We'll give you the cops, we'll give you the workers, but you can't keep records on them because then you're going to manage them and then you're going to fire them, and we don't want any of that. So they are complicit in hiding all of the malfeasance that's going on. So we got to get rid of the unions. That's a separate topic, a separate issue. But confidential access to mental health services. They want law enforcement officers to go get mental health services. I completely agree with that. There needs to be more mental health services for these officers. And here's the deal. They said that it's confidential, right? And I support that. We want officers to go in and say, I'm having these thoughts. I'm having these visions. I'm getting very angry. I'm finding myself, every time I stop a black guy, I get very angry. They need to go talk to somebody about that. Great. Okay. Yeah. Go deal with that. You need to deal with that. But we need a system. There needs to be some accountability there also. What are we going to do to ensure that if an officer exhibits problematic personality or statements or whatever they're doing that is concerning, how do we make sure that we can make that known and make sure that they're no longer on the streets?